Morning. Thank you for being here today. This is a community service. This is just to help us. This is to support one another. This is not monetized, please. This is one of the ways to just say, okay, let us support ourselves. This was battered because three friends reach out, and instead of trying to do that for them alone that time, we felt we should throw it open. And since then, we've been doing some things together. All right, I have started recording it to be made available. Then we go straight into it. If you're just joining for the first time, or if this is your first time of maybe Power BI class or data analysis class, we've done a lot of things before now, though we still have many things to do. Just to be sure that we can hear me, I will just need one or two responses to say, okay, you can hear me, you can see my screen. Please let me get that response. It will be nice.
I can hear
Can
you,
hear you,
Mr.
sir.
Jide.
Thank you
Can
so
hear you.
much.
I see your
Thank you.
screen as well.
Good. Great. So
Good
I'll
morning, Mr. Jide.
minimize.
We can hear you clearly.
Thank you, sirs. Thank you, man. So I'll minimize this. Now, this is just to talk to everyone that maybe this is your first time. I want you to just follow. I can assure you of one thing, that you will learn something. Whatever we are doing today is part of what needs to be learned or what needs to be done. But I will try as much as possible to simplify things with the help of God. So I will try. So if anything we are doing is looking unclear to you, do not hesitate. Please do not hesitate to raise your hand. Like, please ask questions. The most important thing for us is that this makes sense to you. You understand, right? That is very important. It's not just about being there. So if there is anything that is not clear, please do not feel shy to say, oh, I'm here, other people, I don't want to. You're just free. Be free to ask questions. You can drop it in the chat. There are a lot of people here. Miriam is there, Isaac is there. A lot of people here that will be able to look at that questions and call my attention when I'm sharing. I'm sharing my entire screen actually. So in case I'm now on the slide, I won't be able to see if there are questions. But my point is that I beg you to follow. The truth is that Microsoft is doing some amazing things right now. And I wouldn't be lying to say that data analysis is not a breakthrough. It's a good thing. It's going to help you personally. It's going to increase your income. It's all about value. All right, let me minimize this, and I would just go to my slide. Nothing really much in the slide. I just put some things. What are we looking at today? We want to look at DAX, DAX, which really means calculations, right? A form of calculations like 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2. You want to do some calculations because there is no how you are going to do something in the real world that you wouldn't want to see, depending on your sector. Every sector, every industry must they are rendering service, so something must be coming in, and you want to see if whatever money is coming in is making sense, and you want to know what to do. So there is no how you're not going to do calculations. If you sell something, maybe that thing that you are selling, you're also buying it. So if you buy some equipment, you are renting it or you are selling it, you want to also do some calculations. Say, okay, I hope that I'm making, how the business is making sense. So for people on this call, it's just about calculations today. There is no how you will not do. Even if you are working, you get salary. When you get your salary, you also want to say, okay, how much have I spent on the expenses, on the utility? I hope I can have some savings. So you want to do, there is no sector, there is no, I'm just trying to say, so you can't run away from that calculations, right? Okay, so today, I hope that we have time to really do a lot of things. The focus is that we are going to write calculations. But amazing thing on the other side is that Microsoft has introduced something that actually will make life very easy. But I wouldn't want us to start from there, because if we start from there, you need to understand first. If you have an understanding that, okay, 1 + 1 is 2. So when you now ask Power BI or Copilot to help you do that, if Copilot is returning 3 for you, you want to be, no, 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 it's supposed to be 2. So you don't want to use Copilot because you have not have an understanding of DAX. So you want to have the basic understanding first, so that when you now leverage on DAX, Copilot, you would be able to understand what it's saying. Now, this is Olajude too, and not new to us, but if you are just joining, this is just a brief about me. So what's our focus today? uh, what is even the meaning of that DAX? That is what you can see on the screen. Understanding that DAX. DAX is just basically calculation, but what does it really mean? D stands for data, A stands for analysis, X is removed from expression. So DAX is data analysis expression, which simply means you're writing some formulas to express yourself. So some of the things we want to look at, there is what we call measures. It's just a name. See it as a name of something. There's what we call calculated columns or columns. Calculated columns, I mean, columns, if you have used Excel or any table or if you have used table or something, you'll see that there is maybe a range or a table, there is column, there is row. So we have what we call calculated column, which is a column that is added by saying 1 + 1 or this plus that. If you can see the example I put in front, maybe there is a column called quantity and there's another column called price. So you want to say price times quantity will give us another column. Okay. So there's also what we call context. So what does it mean? So when you say Miriam's total sales, or Miriam's total, maybe Miriam has an hospital and the number of clients that has visited that hospital or that clinic, let's say they are 1 million. So that is the total number of head count of people that have visited. Maybe she now want to say, okay, how many visited because of XYZ? That means that you now want to filter from the total head count to say, okay, how many people visited maybe in the morning? So you want to filter by time. So context is to say in what context, give me something back out of the total by filtering with something. Okay, so some people have reached out personally to say they have issues with, or they don't really understand calculate. In case you are just joining, don't worry. These things that I put here, like SUM, is sum, all right? Summation, like addition. There's also what we call sum X. You'll get to understand that. There's also what we call calculate. Now, some people actually specifically ask for top end, that they have issues with saying that, okay, if they have, let's say 1 million customers, okay, how will I be able to see top 5 customers? They can filter to get it. I will show 3 ways, though I think there are 4 ways. Not that I think I know there are 4 ways or more, but I'm going to show, looking at the time, I will show 3 ways of doing this. All right, that's top N. Now, there's also what we call time intelligence functions. All right, which has to do with maybe sales last year. You made sales this year. You now want to check it vis-a-vis last year. So check if if your sales is growing or dropping down. So we have time intelligence calculation, like previous month. You want to check what you did previous month against this month. So we have what we call previous month. We have what we call we have a lot of them. Okay, so I just put some things there. Date MTD, which means month to date. Date add total YTD, which means YTD stands for year to date. We also have what we call same period last year, which will help you it will go and filter what you did last year by looking at maybe 1st of January 2022 versus 1st of January 2023. So same period last year. Let me calculate what we did last year against what we have done this year. So this is just to put some things here. If it doesn't make sense to you right now, do not worry. It's just to put some of the samples or some of the functions that are related to all of this that you are seeing on the screen. Then we'll also now leverage on Copilot and see. So for people that are not familiar with Power BI, maybe I will use Q&A, though what we want to do today is not visual, but I'll just use Q&A for so that you understand that you can actually ask questions. So Q&A is for visuals, but Copilot is for calculations, for writing quick measure, DAX. Okay, so you'll get to see that. I hope that makes sense to you. So another thing that I put here is column versus measures. It's just to talk about it because I wouldn't know if I'll be coming back to this slide. But just know that there's what we call column. So when you have a table, so table as, okay, let me see if I can, so that you understand what I mean. So let's say I stand on this, good. So this is, this one, okay, let me stay on this one. So this is a table. The name of this table is sales details, but this table has some columns, order ID, order date, unit price. So these are columns. These ones are columns. Columns are part of the table. So going back to my slide, so when I say column versus measures, so I'm sure we understand what columns is. That is comes on a table, that is part of a table. So this is just to put some field pointed that columns, when you add columns to a table, right, it creates value for each row. In case this doesn't make sense, do not worry. Let me come back to this. This is me making it very simple for first timers. You will see something. If you take a look at, this is a column, all right? So this column is called sales. So there is unit price and there is other quantity. So you will see that 41.9 times 10 will give us 419. So that means that when I add a column, it means that it's going to, let's say this column is not there before. So maybe I just added it. That means that this column is the result of this row times this row is giving us this. This row times this row is giving us this. This row times this row is giving us this. So that is what this slide is saying, that calculated column create value for each row is a table. All right. I hope that makes a lot of sense. So everyone that have been struggling with understanding what that really means. So calculated column stored value, of course, that you can see that that column that I just showed that is called sales, the value is part of the table. In case that also doesn't make, maybe you don't understand, let me also still come back here and say, okay, you can see that because I added this column, right, it's also part of this table called sales detail. So it is stored, it's having space, is occupying space on this table. It has added to the size of this table. So what this is saying is that calculated column, right, values are stored in Power BI file. So as part of the tables, as part of the table. So, but measures are calculated on demand. Measure does not sit. You'll see it when we do that. So measures are not part of the table. They don't occupy space on the table. And of course, they are calculated based on filter. You will see that. But just to put something here, because of people that really requested that, maybe some of these things is not really clear. Okay, and that's all on this slide. Thank you. So I'm going to minimize this slide, this one. Now, I have, because of time, because what we want to do is to focus on the exact thing, not to begin to create. Don't worry, I don't want to distract us. There's something about this has nothing to do with what we intend to do today. So that's why, in case you are wondering that something is there, don't worry, it has nothing to do with what we intend to do. So I'll not be coming in. That's why I created something here. Now, like I drop on WhatsApp that the table we have or that I want to use is more than what we have, but you have this. The one I shared with you is this one because sales details. In case you want to check it, so you'll see this like what I sent to you. That's what is here. But I have more because I created some things before now. Okay, so let us start something. Please, can we still hear me? My mic is clear, my screen is visible. Can I proceed, please?
Very well, sir. You can go ahead.
Thank you. So, for people that just joined or you are new to this, if there are questions, you are free to drop those questions. I will just try to I'll replicate this. I actually make it easy for us by sharing that data set. I have done most of the things. Okay, you know what? We've not done profit. There's profit, right? But maybe the one I sent you have already done profit. So there's no profit on this one, I guess. So there's no profit. So let me calculate total cost. and I'll calculate profit so that you understand what it means. Okay, to start with, let's say we have unit price, we have order quantity, we have sales, correct? Then we have um okay, let me just show sales. I don't want to do complex things so that I don't have to answer a lot of questions. I'm ready for every question. I'm just trying to say, for the sake of people that are new to this, I don't want to do something very complex because DAX is not just one day. We can do a lot. We can, I mean, a lot of time trying to do DAX. So let's just assume that I have not calculated this column called sales, right? Permit me. The reason why I don't want to remove it is because it's being referenced in the report I already did. So now, if I'm going to add a column to this table, I would go to, you can see that the top here, all right, you can see the group called calculation. If I open my cursor on the measure, it's going to say write a DAX. Remember, DAX is just a calculation. That means write a calculation to express, write a DAX or write a calculation that expresses what you want to calculate from your data. All right. We can see quick measure. When we want to use quick measure, we use Copilot so that you can enjoy the Copilot class or session. Now, if I want to write add columns, I'm going to click on where you see my cursor, right? Is it only here? If I also go to Home tab, I will not see it in that place, but I'll see it there. You can see calculation, meaning that anywhere you are, just look out for this group. All right. So if I'm on table two, because I'm on a table, I would also see it. So it's positioned anywhere, please. So of course, if I also right click on this, if I right click, I also see, can you see new column, new measure? I'm just trying to say that Microsoft Power BI is one lovely tool. So I will just click on new column. So when I click on this new column, I will see it blinked or blinking. So this place is what we call formula bar. So it is not like Microsoft Excel that you can just be clicking. If I click outside now, it's going to disappear. Like this will just disappear. My point is, if I click, that has disappeared, right? Including the column that you saw blinking. So that means that don't click. You can only write, express yourself in the formula bar. So I'm going to say new column. So this column, let me call it sales 2. We already have sales, just to show how you can do that. So sales or total sales, but let me just say sales 2, which I call sales or sales 1 is fine. The reason why I'm giving it sales 1 is because there is a column already called sales. So if I go with sales, it's going to tell me that there is a column called sales. So it will not allow two names for the same columns. So because I'm on a table, and this table has what I need. What do I need? I need to calculate sales, and sales is a function of quantity and unit price. You can see my cursor. In order to get sales or revenue, you need two things, or you need two elements, you need two parameters. What do I mean? You need unit price. Unit price is the price for one thing. And how many quantity did they buy? That is order quantity. So in order to get my sales, I will say unit price times order quantity or order quantity times unit price. All right. So because I'm already on this table, I can just use the basic way of putting square bracket. So if I put square bracket because I'm already on this table, it's going to show me all the columns that this table called sales detail has. So it showed me all the columns because I put square bracket. So I can normally, if I don't put square bracket and I type, I will still see it. I can type unit, you can see unit price. So you're saying unit price is coming from the table called sales detail. I say yes. Good. But my point, if you look at after the sales details, right, there's square bracket and there's square bracket after unit price. Okay. So it's the same thing. So if I say multiply by, so multiply means shift 8 on your keyboard, right? So it's looking like star. Multiply by what? Multiply by order. I'm just typing, right? I'm just typing. So order quantity, which is order QTY. So if I press enter now, I would have this populated. The name would also change based on the name I have added. So all I need to do right now is to say enter. When I say enter, then I should have Can you see? Remember, this is 419.9. So if you go to this, you'll see that, okay, so this one times this. So that is one of the ways to add columns, right? I could go on and on, but it's just to show, because of course we have also limited time. So this is how to add columns. What I wouldn't want to really go into is to say there is what we call data model size. I don't want to begin to speak that grammar. The more columns you add to a table, the more the size of that table. Now that I've added this column to a table, remember that column would store on a table. It's going to also use row by adding from, if this is like 3 million rows, row 1, row 2, row 3. So this would also have added to the size of this table. If this is 20 MB before, now that I've added this column, let's say if this column is maybe 2 MB, that means I'll be having 22 MB, meaning that the size has increased. Okay, but permit me to just remove it because I don't need it. I just wanted to show how you can add columns. So I'm going to delete it from the model. Let me drag this in. So delete. Yes, I don't need it. I've shown how, because the focus today is actually to do measures. All right. Now, I want to write some measures. But before I write some measures, take a look at this. If I tick other QTY, which is other quantity, if I just check it, like tick this box, something will show. What you are seeing is the total quantity that they ordered. So that is what you are showing. I mean, that is what you're saying. That is you can see sum of other quantities, meaning that Power BI has gone into that column, this column called other QTY. Permit me, I just want to make it very simple. Look at it. That means that it has gone and sum up this column. All right. So that is what you are saying. That, okay, after I have summed all the columns called other QTY, this is what I found and it's showing. I say, okay, thank you. So let's say I leave it here. Now, if I say, because there is a column called sales, which is the calculated column, like we just showed, but I've removed that. If I tick this box, I would also see, okay, so you can see what it has done. It has also sum. My point is, I just want you to look at, so it has sum. It has added line by line, which is row by row, and it's giving us this. Now watch. Now that you understand sum of sales, if I now write a measure and put sum of sales, you will now understand that it's not as difficult as we think. So if I want to write measure does not sit on the table, right? If I click on new measure, it could be anywhere that I have shown previously. If I click on new measure will now say, okay, it's going to blink in the formula bar. When it blinks in the formula bar, I would also say no. Permit me to now call this one, let's say total sales, right? Let me just say, or let me call it revenue. It's fine. It's still the same thing as sales revenue. Is the name. And I'll say, okay, sum is a function. This sum, remember when we visualize this, show sum of sales, right? So I'll now say, okay, sum. You now say, so I'm now say, okay, if you want me to help you, what do I need from you? I need a column, just one column. But let me tell you what I do. So sum is introducing itself to me. It said what I do is that I add all the numbers that means in one column. And I say, okay, yes, I understand you. I've checked it before. I mean, maybe because I have an idea, but I really don't have to. Some now say, okay, give me what I should help you add. And I say, okay, I need you to help me add sales. So this sales is coming from this table called sales details. If I close the bracket, right, and I press enter, you will see revenue here. So measure comes with calculator, like this icon. So if I check this box, I expect to see 56 million. Can you see? So this is confirming that, okay. Now, I hope this is still very simple. If there is any question, let me know, because we have a lot. We have some people that are already using Power BI, but their issues is not this basic one that we have started with, it's some of the advancements. All right. Now, let me say I put it here. It's fine. Let's say that, let me go back to the table. Let's say this table called sales details. It does not have a column called sales. And because it is important to management to know how much sales have we sold or what is our sales, let's say we only have unit price and unit price and other quantity, and we don't have sales. So management is not particular about unit price, but they want to see the outcome of this times this so that they can have sales. But there is no column that is called sales. Watch. Then how do we now, if I want to answer my line manager that is asking for the total sales, then how do I generate that? That means I need to do a calculation that will say unit price times other QTY. This time around, we are not using column. I show it in column just few seconds ago, but I want to use measure to answer the same question. I could stay here and do this. I could stay anywhere, but let me just go to report view. If I click on, before I go on, remember that we arrive at this, or we got this from some of the column called sales. That means there is a column called sales. We also did this because of the same thing, though we use measure. But I'm not saying, let's assume we do not have this. In case what I'm saying does not make sense to you, this is what I'm trying to say. Look at the formula bar. What you are saying in the formula bar is that I use a sum, and sum as a function is asking for a column. I'm now saying, what if we do not even have this column? Can't I still get my total sales? I can get it. That's why we want to use measure to do that. Now, I'll click new measure. So when I click new measure, so let me say this is Rev 1. I could call it total sales too, but this is me showing many ways to achieve one thing. So let's say this is revenue 1. Revenue, because I don't want to say revenue. Revenue 1 to differentiate it from this one. If I say sum says, remember, my friend, when you asked me the other time, I told you that I can only add all numbers in a single column. I said, okay, it's true. And I can't say some unit price plus some other quantity. It wouldn't make sense. It will give us the wrong thing. That's not how it is done. Now, there is a senior colleague of some, which is called some X. So I'll go to some X because some has limitation in terms of it can only help us with a column. Then I'll go to some X. So when I go to some X said, okay, let me introduce myself to you. What I do is that I return the sum of an expression evaluated for each row. That means that I would help you do something on a table, right? From a table by looking at the rows on that table. Please, I hope I'm fine. I hope the mic is clear, just to be sure. To be sure, the internet is fine. Please, I just need a response.
On my hands, it's fine. I don't know what
Yes,
else.
it's clear.
Thank you. So Somex now said, okay, I need at least 2 things from you. Mention the table that give accommodation to those elements that you want to use. I'm laughing. And then go ahead and express yourself. So that's okay. You know what? Somex, the table that has unit price and other quantity, the name is sales details. I said, okay. When you mentioned the table, also put comma. I said, okay, I've done that. And I said, after then, you are free to express yourself. Now, I can now call on the columns that I need from this table. Permit me to use square bracket. If I type unit price, I will still see it. Or can you see? But I just do not want it to be too long so that you don't continue to see sales details. So I can just put square bracket. I'll now say, okay, what do I need? I need unit price. Can you see? And I can pick unit. I can also type though times what? Square bracket order. Can you see? Or I'm typing right now. Order quantity. So I could go ahead and say QTY. So you can see. Remember when we added the column, we always said and we should do for sales. But I'm saying that we don't even have, assuming that we don't have that column. Now, in order to arrive at our total sales, we need to say unit price times other Q2. So it is some X that is helping us. I'll now close the bracket and press enter. So when I do enter, I now have revenue 1. In order to check what we have, we need to visualize it. It's just to show it. So I would check the box against revenue 1. And I can see that, oh my, so that means if I do not have a column called sales, as long as I have unit price and the quantity ordered or purchased, I can still get my result. I hope this is clear. Okay. Because later on, when we are done in it, I'll still delete, I'll remove some of them. By the time we use Copilot, you will not understand. But I just needed to know how we've been doing this so that when you now use Copilot, you now want to check that I hope what Copilot is giving back to me is actually the right thing. So I have shown this one with the use of SumX, assuming there is no column called sales, but this one is with a column called sales. So I just use sum to do this one. This one is to just say, let me just check normally, and I check the box. Okay, how this still makes sense. Now, let's say that I want to check something. I need, for instance, there's channel. So I tick channel. Now this channel is showing me we have the channels. And I want to see we have total sales as 56 million. What is the contribution of each? How much did we realize from catalog, from online, from reseller, from store? That means that this would filter the total sales. Any of this could suffice, please. So I can say, okay, let me add data. In case my Power BI is not as yours, don't worry, I've updated. In case you don't have, I've updated to the latest. It's updated every month. So I need just a moment. Okay, I need. I could also type revenue, right, or total sales or sales. Let me just say sales. Sales. So if I go with this, and I say, no, I don't want it this way. Maybe I want it on a table, right? Let me increase this. So I don't want it, I want a table. So I could just choose the table. This is the table. So what you are seeing right now is that 56 million, but the contribution of store, I mean, all the channels is what you're seeing. Let us leave it this way. It's just to show something so that by the time we do the calculations, we would get something to make sense to us. All right. Now, let's say I want to visualize something. I want to use, let me collapse this one. I could come back to it. What if I want to see how much we are realizing as per year, yearly, how much did we, this one is showing by channel, but can I see what we have been doing according to year? So if I want to, let me change this visual to, because the focus for me is not day by day for now. It is just to see the year. So I just change it to, it's just a visual. So it's showing 2011, 12, 13, 14. Against what? Let me move this away. It's against, what should I, okay, value, of course. So against, let's say sales. I'm just still using sales. So what you are seeing right now is that, though this shows us store contributions by, I mean, channels, but this is showing on yearly basis. Let me lay focus on yearly basis. This is what we've been doing. Now, let's say management is interested in, if this is our total sales, on the average, how much sales do we make? So if there's a question, I need to write a DAX. I need to write a calculation to look for average. Then normally everyone will say, okay, in mathematics, you have to say the occurrence divided by, the total divided by the number of occurrence. In case that doesn't make sense, I'm just trying to say if you have 10 activity and you had everything, let's say you now have 50, you now want to say, okay, 50 divided by 10. Right? But let's just write a calculation. So I would say new measure. So when I say new measure, let's say average revenue or average revenue, average rev for short, or average sales. Now, there's a function called average. So if I type average will say, okay, I need a column to help you do your average. So if I'm going to do this, what if I don't have that column? Of course, I don't want to start adding too many things. So to make it easy, so let's say the column is sales, so which is this one. Then I'll close the brackets and press enter. That means this function will go into this table and go to look for sales and do the average calculation for sales. So if I add this average to this, let's see what we get. So what you are saying, let me maybe 2 decimal, right? To make it make sense, 2 decimal. Enter. So what you are seeing right now is that the average sales that we did in 2011 was this average sales. What you are seeing is on the average. If I visualize as a card, what you will see is this. But my point is yearly average is what you're saying. Well, so you can just ignore this, right? In case you're wondering what I'm trying to say. If I put this card, if I put this on a card, this is what you'll see. What happened is that the calculation has gone into total sales and help us do the average. Average is supposed to be a single number. On the average, this is what we realize. If I use this average against store, for instance, that what's the average on the store? So it's just saying in store, if anyone visits store, on the average, they spend, if one person visits the store, they tend to spend this amount. If they visit us, any of this, they tend to spend this. So what you are seeing right now is the average realized, all right, when someone buys from online. So the person spend more than when they visit this. If someone buys through catalog seems to be giving us the highest sales on the average. This is not total. When it is total, maybe store has been existing before catalog. Maybe store is the first channel you use before you now introduce. But my point here is that for performance, if you are asked that, okay, which of the channel is performing, but more is performing, it is not online. Total does not mean best. How will I say it now? If we have 3 people in, let's say we have 2 departments, for instance. So we have 30 people in marketing and we have 4 people in IT. Just imagine that this is sum of salary. So sum of salary of people in marketing will be more than the people in IT. If they are on the same salary, let's say minimum wage, okay? Because there are more people in marketing than IT. So summation of their salary will not be the right measure for performance. The right measure for performance will be average. So in terms of which of the channel, is performing, giving us the, good sales, then it is this guy called catalog. Because on the average, if somebody purchased through your catalog, they tend to spend this amount of money. So I hope this makes sense in a way. All right, it's not to visualize, it's just to show when we do a calculation, we also check to see the outcome. All right. So that means that if I use it against the year, you now want to know, okay, which year did we really perform? It's not about the total, it's about the year that you made, I mean, that contributed to the bottom line. Anyways, so, but that's average. Now, we've done sales or total sales or revenue. We've also done average. Those are the two measures I think we have created or calculations that we have done right now. Let's say now that you've done this one, okay, you now want to say, okay, management is really interested in seeing another dimension. Though we can see that in 2011, we made these sales. In 2012, we made these sales. In 2013, we made these sales. In 2014, we made these sales. Can we see if we are actually growing by comparing previous year's sales versus the current year? Now, someone sometimes asks me that this calculation really is not clear to, I remember someone asking that, because what I'm about to do, the person said it's not clear. She said that, so she came to me to say, there's this calculation someone made and it's not clear. So I needed to explain to her then. 2011 sales, this is it. 2012, this is it. 2013, this is it. 2014, this is it. So if someone now want to say they want to calculate sales last year, don't we have last year's sales also here? And I said, okay, actually we do, but management is interested in seeing it side by side so that they can say sales in 2011 against sales in 2010, if there is any sales in calculation, but I'm explaining ahead. That means that I want to see, apart from this one that we are seeing, there should also be another table, I mean another column on this table that will show us previous year. If this is for 2011, can we have 2010 sales here? If this is for 2012, can we have 2011 sales in front of it? If this is for 2013, can we have 2012 sales in front of it? If this is for 2030, can we have, so that we can now minus 2011 sales against, I mean, we can remove 2010 sales from 2011 and know if we are growing. That means that you want to see percentage growth. Please, are we following? Just to be sure you understand this. If this is clear, let me know. Please, I just need a response.
Yes, it's clear.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So now that means that there is need for a calculation. So this calculation that I'm about to do, I don't want to make it, it's not complex, but there are many ways to achieve it. So let me call it, before I do it, remember that the total sales that we have done since the beginning of the data till the end of the data that we have is 56. If that is 56, then we now want to filter something out, but you'll see it now. Because here, we have also filtered by using channel against the 56 million. Here, we have also filtered by using the year against 56 million. We now want to go ahead a step further to also now filter for previous year. All I need to do. What I'm about to show is one of the ways. I don't want to show too many so that I don't complicate issues. So I'll say new measure. Now, this new measure, let me say sales last year. So what you are seeing right now, if I say SLY, it means, okay, let me just type sales last year. Good. Now, sales last year is already within our data set, but we need it to come alive so that we can achieve the end result, which is management want to see. Management is not about seeing sales last year. Maybe that is not their concern. They just want to check if you compare last year versus this year, is there any increase or decrease so that we know the difference between previous year and this year? Now, I will say, I need last year's sales to be filtered from total sales. Exactly. If you can understand English, you'll know how to write the DAX. So I can go and say, okay, help me calculate. It is a function which will allow me to be able to filter what I need from total. So You know, we started by calculating. If I have not calculated this, I could actually make this formula complex, like too long. But we have done a bit of some things that we need. We need any of this, which is sales, of course, to be filtered by date. So I'll go ahead and say, okay, let me calculate. I don't need to say sum of sales because we already have the sales. So I could go ahead and say, let me calculate what? Let me calculate revenue. So if I type revenue, it could also be sales. But remember that we created a measure, we call it revenue one. So they are the same, but I just want to pick any of them, please. Good. So when I say, help me calculate revenue, I will now go ahead and say, okay, since I want to bring out, I want to filter last year's sales from this revenue, I'll say comma. So filter is the one that is bold. It's saying, okay, how should I help you filter this? So there is a function, though there are others, but let me just make it simple so that it can sound like this name that I gave it. So if I type same period last year, same period last year is a function that would bring back the year. All right. So if I say same, as I'm typing, there is a function. There's also what we call date add. All right. But let's just go straight so that this makes sense. Same period last year is a function. So I'll pick it. So same period last year said, what I do is that I'll return a set of dates in the current selection from previous year. Now, that is what he's doing. But what does it want? Same period last year say, only give me the date. When I see the date, I will help you do something behind the scene to help you filter. Use from this date, I'll pick previous year and filter with this. So then I need date. Date is coming from my date. There's a table called so date. It's just the name of the table. My date is the name of the table, but there is a column there called date. So if I pick this date, now the reason why you're saying dot date is because inside of date, this is me using a lemma right now. There is date. Date is, for instance, if you can see my laptop, you see 29th of June 2023. That is date. Inside of date, we have day, which means 29th is a day. We also have month. June is month. Anyways, I'm sure you understand. There is quarter, there is year. So, but I want this to go and actually look at the entire date, not just day, month, quarter, or year. So I'm going to just pick dot date. I hope you understand. Anyways, let me pick the date first and close the bracket and press enter. Now, let me check this first. Oh no, correct, but I don't need it here. I want it here because that is where. So sales last year. Now, in case what you are saying doesn't make sense to you, let me explain. Let me put it on focus mode. What you are seeing right now is that this place is blank. The reason why it's blank is because there is no 2010 sales. So there is no previous year or last year or previous year, of course, for 2011. So there was no sales in 2010. But for 2012, this is the sales for 2012. But the previous year, meaning the year before 2012, the sales we realize is 1 million something, confirming that this is it. So that's why you are seeing sales this year against sales last year, sales this year against sales last year. That is what you're seeing. I hope this is still making sense to us. I hope I can proceed. Can I proceed, please? Can I proceed, please?
Yes, you can, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, please.
Okay. Now, where we are actually going, let me drag this away, is to say, okay, now that we have sales last year versus sales in current year, I want to now see this minus this so that I can see the sales difference against by deducting these sales from. I'll write another measure. So let me say new measure. and call this sales difference. Sales difference. Sales difference. DIFF. This way. Now, of course, I could do, but in order to make it simple, we already have revenue, right? We already have revenue. I also have sales last year. All I need is to say revenue minus sales last year will give me my sales difference. So I could just say, I could type, right, revenue, or I could just put square bracket. So just help me quickly call them up. So this is revenue. I'll then put minus what? Minus sales last year. So this is all I need to know the difference, to know sales difference. So I say enter now. Then there's a measure called sales difference, which I want to use against this. So if I check this box, now what you're seeing is that if you say this minus is 0, it will return the same, right? Then in 2012, we did 21. In 2011, we did 1. So we made huge money. This is it. But in 2013, we made 17. But previous year, we did very well. So, but now we are making loss. That's what you see. That is what this means. So management will be interested in seeing this, not just this figure now. Management will be interested in seeing the percentage contribution of this, like percentage contribution of this. Now, let's say this is the one, right? Now, maybe I also need, watch this now. Maybe I also need this to come back. So that we have to, no, not this one, sorry, sales difference. Good. Now, this one, I really don't want it to show this way. So if I scroll, this particular one that you're seeing, just a moment, let me format it. Format. Let's this filter. Good. Or let me just make it this way. Just a moment, please. Ignore this. And go back to value, which is this other one. Good. Go back here. This is, where is it? Okay, maybe for now, let's just ignore. I want it to show as percentage of grand total. So because I've moved to new version, I'm wondering why I can't see that. Let me check. Okay, it's fine. Let me see if I can make this happen on this. Okay, we'll do that later. We'll do that later. So what I want to show is that I want this actually should now show the percentage contribution of this. What I don't want to do is to select it and I'll say it should show in percentage. All right. So I really want it to show as percentage of grand total, but not what we are seeing. That's what I don't want to do. So we'll come back to that. So I don't need this. So let me also remove this one. So my point here, okay, I hope I didn't remove it. Good. So my point here is that management will be interested in seeing the percentage contribution of this, right? Of this. But what you are seeing is this is, oh, I think I removed the one I shouldn't remove. Let me take this out again. Remove this. I can bring it back from here. Sales last year. sales last year, and another one, sales, that's sales difference. Sales difference. So my point is that we can see, so I would see how we can bring the percentage back. But what we are seeing right now is that what we did last year versus what we did this year and the difference. So the management can have a clear picture of saying that, oh, so we are doing very badly. Anyways, or we are doing very good. So that is that. Now, let me move to, if there are questions, please do not hesitate. Remember, we've done revenue, we've done some calculations. Now, we could go on, okay, let's say there is, let me visualize another thing. Let's say there is a benchmark for the sales dates. Let me say I need dates. Let it come to the side. Maybe I need it as this one. And I also need red, which is this. Now, maybe the benchmark here is management will want to use 2022, 2012 as the benchmark for order sales. This is an assumption because this is the performing, this is the year they perform very well. So they want to use it as benchmark, or let's say, let's take a look at this. I could use this also, so that it doesn't look like I'm using only the year. So let's say what is important here is that management want to use store. Store is the channel that is giving us the ISOs. So if management is interested in looking at that to say, okay, let us see that vis-a-vis others. That means that I need to do a calculation. That calculation is to return the total sales realized in store. I'll take that again. This is context. Total money we realize is 56 million. But I want to calculate only for store, though I already have it. But I want to use it against online and see the performance. If I'm going to do that, I will need to say, okay, calculate, where are you? So I'll say new measure. If all this calculation is not clear to you, let me know. I'll take this again. Though we already have the channels and their total sales, but the benchmark is that you store vis-a-vis other channel and see the performance. So let's say this is store sales. I could put space though, but I just like writing them together. So I'll say, okay, help me calculate. Remember, calculate is also coming with filter. Help me calculate what? Calculate revenue, which is our total sales, right? So when you do that, comma, now say help me filter with channel, where channel is equal to store. What I want is, probably I said yes, though we have our total revenue to be 56 million, but I need you to filter it by going to a column called channel and only look for store. Don't ignore others, only look for store. Then I'll say, okay, where channel, though I can't say where channel because it's not SQL. So I can say channel, you know that there is this a table. We're already in sales details. So meaning that I need this channel name. I just want to scroll to hope that will not scatter anyway. Okay, I don't want to expand it. What this means is that it will go and check where channel equals store. So let's say, I think it's channel name, right? Good. Channel. I just typed. All this explanation is to make it simple to you. Equal to, because if I say channel, it doesn't make sense. So I want to filter. I will now say when channel, go to channel, which is a column. In that channel, you will see the name of the channel. But the only one I want is that equal to. Equal to what? Because store is a text, I'll need to put it in quotation, shift quote, and say store. And also shift quote and close the bracket. Now, what you are seeing is, this is a context. This is filtering. So that means that you are filtering revenue when channel is equal to store. Let me know if you understand before I click on enter, just to be sure. I hope I'm simplifying it. That's the right thing for me, just to be sure this is making sense to some of us.
Yeah.
Okay. All that I hope is we've not been doing very not advanced yet. So I will need response from some people that maybe so I really will want to others kindly respond.
Yes, we are responding. Others. Good morning, sir. Thank you very much. So I think this thing is when we practice it, we'll be able to understand it better.
Okay.
That's my opinion. Then
Okay.
I have some questions, but I think maybe at the end of the class I'll ask.
Okay.
About
But what you are go ahead. Tell me.
so how to practice if the recording will be available, then what you're working on, the Power BI, is it an app or we should download it? I followed the link you sent, but I don't know if I should download or something.
Yes, you need to download it. So
Like
sorry. Others,
it's
if
an
you can,
app, like
yes, look at, can you see my screen? So if you are on Windows 10 or Windows 11, you will see a folder, right? Like a bag. Look at it, Microsoft Store. But if you are not seeing it here, don't worry, just search here and say Microsoft. Can you see?
Yes.
So if I click here, sorry class, I'm so sorry, just switch over, then I'll continue. So if I click this store, right, it's going to open, just like you go to your phone, but this is not a phone thing right now at the moment. You want to download Power BI from the store. So when this is loaded, right, is opened, you will now search for, look at it. So depending on the Windows you are using, I'm on Windows 11. So if I stay here, I can just say Power BI. As I'm typing, you can see. What I need is actually this one. Sorry. Power BI desktop. So this is what I need. So if I click on this, then it would show this. Because I already have it, that's why it's showing open. But for you, you'll see install or get. So I hope I've answered you.
Yes, you have. Thank you.
Okay. You're
What about
welcome.
the Calipot?
So tell me, what about what?
The Calipot, something is it? Maybe I'm not pronouncing it well.
Maybe
Copilot.
Copilot.
Copilot. Okay, I will show that. You don't need to download that. You don't have to download. It's part of this. You will see it shortly. I don't want to start from there. If I start from there, I will not be helping you. I tell you. If you don't understand this concept and you are using Copilot, Copilot is lovely. It's very nice. It's sweet. All this one that I'm writing this long thing, Copilot will do it for me. But if I also don't understand this, and I don't know how to put the question, because Copilot will say you should write in your own language, like natural language, like English. Help me calculate this and this. It will give you. But if you don't understand, I will not be. It means that I'm not helping you. I'm just trying to use a lazy man. Copilot is not a lazy man, but so that I don't say that. It's just instead of spending 8 hours to write some DAX, just call Copilot to help you write in 1 second, then adjust it if need be. But Leon, what we have done so far, you are getting it right. That's the point for me. Hope you are getting it. Okay, I believe so. Okay. Now, so that means that, okay, let me say enter, right? So let me scroll up. Store. Let's see. You know why it's returning this? Because that is the amount we realize from store. So that's why you see store sales. So if store is the benchmark, then you can also now find sales difference. You know, because as a data analyst, it's not just about visualizing, it's the insight. So that you can say, okay, so if store is the highest performing channel, can we see the contribution of store against other channel? That is what you're saying. That's why don't put your mind on this total. It will not sum this again because the total for store is actually 32. So ignore this because just ignore, because don't think that if this is no, it cannot add. The function knows what to do, so it cannot add it because it will be absorbed. So it's just returning this back anyway. So you can now say, okay, this minus this will give us the percentage contribution. Then you want to talk to the management that vis-a-vis this, so other channel, maybe we need to re-strategize, we need to do promo, we need to create awareness, we need to, you get the point, so that you can also be using those channels. These are the things you want to say. But if you have not done all these calculations, you wouldn't know. You would just be talking on the surface sometimes, right? But as a data analyst, you need to bring out the in-depth insight. Okay, so now this is just that. So we could go on and on. Another thing I want to show is good. Let's take a look at this. Let's say that management want to see the performance of staff. So if I go ahead and say staff name, I already have it, but you don't have staff. So this is staff name. Now, these are the staff. What is their contribution? How much are they? That means that total sales out of 56 million, how much did Ayodeji did? How much is, you get the point? So that means, let me check this one and say revenue. So revenue. So what I'm saying right now, I don't want it as this. I want it on the table for now because, so this is table. So what you are seeing right now is that, okay, Olajide Dowo did 15 million. This person did, that's what you're doing, did 13. Korede did 11. Chika did this. I mean, you can see. Now, this has been filtered, correct? What if I want to check something, right? Let's have no visualized it, just for you to see. Watch. So let me deselect. It's just deliberate. Okay, let me leave it so that you understand this. And I want to just only know what we realize in, let's say, biology day. If I've not visualized, but I'm visualizing so that you see the outcome of what I'm about to do. So I'll say new measure. Why I'm going through this route is so that it can become very simple, so that you understand that majorly you want to, it is filter context. After you have calculated you, so if I say, okay, Olajide's sales, Olajide's sales, right, or revenue, then I need calculate again. Calculate will now go into this and say where staff name is equal to Olajide. Just for you to know, it's simple. Calculate. Calculate will now say, what am I to do? Let me look at revenue. Okay. So when you see revenue, what should I do? Go and check the staff name. Where staff name is equal to Olajide do. Okay, and that's okay. Staff name equal to. But if I don't want to, if I say not equal to, I could do that. That means that if I say not equal to Olajide, it will have calculated doing all of that. But let's just make it a step. I just said that in case someone is interested in that. All right. So if I want to say not equal to, that means I will do this. I don't want to start with all this complexity. This time that you're looking at is not equal to. So if I say not equal to what Olajide, that means what is going to return back would be the total sales for every other staff except Olajide. But it should be equal to, meaning that only go and look for Olajide. So I'll then say, okay, since Olajide is a text, I'll have to type it. You must type the exact way. Unless I want to write some that I will say, as long as there is Olajide. All right. As long as there is Olajide. So that means that if there is Olajide do, Olajide Isaac, Olajide something. If I say as long as Olajide, then I don't have to write their phone name. That means anywhere it says Olajide is going to, but of course, this is exact. So I want you to go and pick Olajide do. So I'm going to say Olajide do. Then close bracket. That's all. What you are saying is that I will go and check the revenue where staff name equals Olajide. That means what I will return is Olajide's contribution from this total. That's all. When I say enter right now, the calculation is ready. I'm not going to use it here, just for you to see. Let me just say Olajide. So I should be seeing 15 million come back. Can you see? Do you understand? So that means that this is correct. So this is what we mean by filter context. So they could say, so I really want someone to try something. So I really sincerely, just to be sure that this, so take a look. There is so on this table, just a moment where it is. Okay, so there is state on this table, state. I've showed two things. So there is state, right? So I need someone to try. Let me drop down this. So can someone try where, I don't know, I don't have to help you. I only need sales for Anambra. What will I do? I only need sales. How much did you make from that state called Anambra? I'm asking if someone is willing to just try. That's all. Please, just to be sure. I hope we are following. Don't worry. If you say yes, I won't call you. I hope we are following, please. Please, can we hear me?
Yes, you can hear you.
Yes, we can
Yes,
hear
we
you.
can hear you.
Okay, but there is no one to volunteer, right? Who wants to try? I'm just asking. Is anyone trying? Okay, don't worry. Let's proceed then. Okay, so if I need Anambra, right, sales, that means that, take a look at it, Anambra, good. So I would just say,
Can I try?
yes, please try.
So you say sales.
I'll say new measure, right?
Yes, you click on new measure. For your screen, I don't
Good.
know why it's hanging. You click on new. Yes, you click on new measure.
Okay.
It's booting from my end. From my end.
Anambra sales. Okay, still. Everyone, I hope my screen is fine. Others, you can just
Yes,
respond just to be sure.
fine.
Okay.
So then it will say, you now say sales equals
Yes, Anambra sales. Good. Calculate.
equals
Good.
what's your type? Okay.
Calculate first.
I think you say calculate.
I like that. Awesome.
Open brackets.
Good.
Anambra sales.
Remember that the total sales is 56. We only want to filter Anambra sales from 56. So that means I need to call the sales before mentioning what I want to filter with, right? Just to be sure.
That's calling the sales. That's the state you want to work with.
No, this revenue. The money has to come first before we now filter it. Hope you understand.
Can I assist my sister from this point?
Yes.
Okay, so from now you are going to put a comma.
I like that. Okay.
And you will now say state
Okay.
equal
Awesome.
Anambra.
Fantastic. Equal to, because Anambra is a text, what will I do?
Yes. You open a quote, type Anambra, and close the quote.
Good, good. So, Leon, you have phoned a friend, though, and the friend has helped you. If you look at this now.
Yes, thank you. 17320.
So 17320. Thank you. That is the Ola.
In double
right.
quotation.
Yes. Right. So if you take a look, help me calculate. I will now bring the total money, which is revenue, and say this revenue, you need to filter it where state equal to Anambra. So if I press enter now, so if I check, in case you also want to confirm, you know why? So when you are learning this, right, whatever works for you, if you already have it, you can actually say, okay, let me check this first so that whatever is coming back will make sense. So if I say state, this state, I want it on a table, correct? It's just that, okay, Anambra is at the top, right? Okay, good. Against revenue. So against revenue. So, no, as a table. As a table. Good. I would like that. Okay, let me use this. Use this one. Good. So look at Anambra's. Anambra actually performed. So look at Anambra's contribution. So when I want to visualize the one we just did, just to be sure. Can you see? So this confirms that this actually is correct. Look at the number 1.68. It has approximated. I can put in decimal place to reduce all of this. But I hope this makes sense. So that is not really as hard. Now, brace up. I'm about to do something. I'll stay on a new page. Now, this page, did I do anything? Okay, we did a lot of things here. Okay, so this page, let me call it top N, just to put the name. Now, let's say management want to see, okay, let's do it this way. Let me visualize products. So there's product name. So take a look at this. So we have products. The products is, I don't know, is there. And I want to see the revenue for the contribution or how much we realize from each product as a table. I'm using a table so that we can see. Good. Now, of course, you can see the total, confirming that. So watch. So what you are saying is too long. You can't be giving management this kind of report. This is operational report because what we are saying is that this is the breakdown of each. All right. Now, you want to now say, okay, if this is, let me sort this rather. So I sort this so that you'll see. Let me sort it again. So what you are seeing now, can I proceed, please? Just to be sure, I hope my internet is fine. Can I proceed, please?
Yes, you can.
Thank you. Now, I now want to see, okay, let me remove so that it will make everyone will understand what I'm trying to do. Let's say no decimal, right? 0 for now. Take a look. So what I are seeing now is that each product and their revenue realized. But management is not interested in all of this. They only want to see let's say top 10. It could be top 5. This could be staff, maybe our staff and their performance. Maybe our marketers and their performance, our medical rep and their performance. our customer, it could be customer name and the sales they've made. And so it could be, but based on like this one, this is the product and revenue. So you now want to see top 10 products. I'm about to show 3 ways. So please just follow me. This is recorded. In case what I'm trying to do now is I'll slow the pace in a way, but it's not technical. So watch the first easy way. Let's say let's say this is top 10. Let me just call it top 10 sales. Top 10 sales. Top 10 sales. Okay, so you can see top 10 sales, right? So I want to filter this so that whatever you are seeing is just top 10. All I need to do, let me expand filter pen to do easy way first. But I want to write a DAX. I don't want to use filter, but I want to show starting from here. That means that if you look at this filter pane, this place where my cursor is, product name is here. You can say filter on this visual. That is exactly what I want to do. I want to filter on this visual. Now, if I drop down this arrow to expand what is there, I will see all the products. But I can't be deselecting. I want to use a filter type, which is not basic. In front of basic, I'll drop down and I'll see top N. So if I choose top N, there's a box that will now open to say, okay, what you are looking for, is it top or bottom? So if I drop down this, I'll see maybe bottom performing staff or bottom performing customer, bottom performing anything. But this one, we want to see top 10. So I'll go with top. So in the box in front, I'll type 10. So when I type 10, it's not saying, okay, this that you want to filter. Because what you want to do is that everything is here, but you now want to filter out the top 10. I said yes. So you have typed 10, I said yes. And that's okay. By what value? That whichever value you want to use to filter this, because in order to filter, you need value, not you need numerical. Now, I will then say, I could drag this one by revenue. When I drag, I will need to say apply. So when I apply this filter, it will filter. You know, when you filter, it's going to, anyways, let me say apply filter. So what you are seeing, right? Can you see it has reduced that long list to top 10? And if you can see it from here to say product name, top 10 by what? By revenue. So this is the top 10 performing product. Please, are we following? Because this is just one way. Are we following, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, we are following, sir.
Thank you. Good. Now, I've shown simple, basic way. So now I want to say, I don't want to do it. I don't want to use filter. I want to write DAX. If you actually look at this, you would also realize that we have filtered the product name by revenue. If you understand this concept, this DAX that we're about to write will make sense to you. So, meaning that we need revenue, we also need 10, we also need a function called top N, we also need product name. I'll say it again. If this is customer, it is customer you will use in that place. So the DAX we want to write, that means that I'll need, because it's also filter, so that means that I would need calculate in a way so that it can help me filter top 10. I will need calculate to help me filter top 10. All right, you will see from revenue, of course. If this is clear, I would click new measure. Let me call this top 10. Top 10 product. Top TOP 10 products. Product. So top 10 products, I'll say calculate. Since I already have revenue, I'll call revenue. Revenue. So just be following the syntax. Now, I can't just go to and say filter by what? I need, because I need top 10. And in a way, calculate cannot on its own right now do that. So I need a function called top 10. But before I proceed, let me type just for you to see. So if I type top 10 will now say, what I do is that I return a given number of top rows according to a specified expression. Which value do you want to look out for? 10. Then mention the table. That's what you're saying there. How should I arrange it? Order by. Order by means how should I arrange? Is it up, down, or down, up? Ascending or descending? It's just to show. Now, but let's go calculate. I also need another thing before I go on. I'm breaking it down so that when I use all of this, you will understand. So there is a function called all. All, what do you do? All said that, okay, I return all the rows in a table or all values in a column, ignoring any filter that might have been applied. That means that because what I want back is that everything should be filtered and return something. So all we ask me for the table name or column name, but what it's going to do is going to check all the rows, right? Okay. Now, in a way, see, you can write this in many ways. I just want to write 1 is 0. So I could also use a function called values. I'm preparing our mind to what I want to use. So values said, okay, what I do is that when a column name is given, because I'm going to mention the name of a column, which is product name. You know that there's a column called product name. So you say when the column name is given, I will return a single column table of a unique value. Unique value. You'll see it. We want to specify some things, all right? So, but value is saying what I will need you also to give me is the table name or column name. Okay. All right, so calculate what? Revenue. I'll say comma. Because I need top N to filter, because the next thing calculate is asking is, how should I filter? I'll now call top N. Top 10 is what I want you to use to go and filter. So top N will now come in here. So say, okay, top N will now be asking me, but top N is doing the work of filter for calculate. So top N will now say, mention the value. So if it is top 5 or top something, but it's 10, I will now say 10. That's the end value. Then I'll say comma. So when I say comma, calculate is also asking me for table, right? And remember that when I show all was also asking me for table. Because what I want this to do is that go into that table and check all the rows so that you can now, when you check row by row, you can bring back the top 10 rows, the top 10 rows based on their figure. Please, I hope you are following. I hope this is making sense. I hope I'm not, just to be sure. I want to know if I'm breaking it down so that I'm not speaking grammar. Please, I will follow it just to be sure that my internet is also fine.
We are here with you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you. So now I will now say, okay, all, where are you? Oh, say I'm here. Can you see that all? So when the next thing top end was asking for is the table. So I now use all to say, okay, all, because I know you. When you go there, you will return all rows. Because I don't know how top end table will go. So I now say all now say, okay, I'm here. All I need from you is to mention the table. So if I type products, you can see table name or column name. So what I need is product name, right? Which is coming from sales details. So remember that every column is given accommodation in a table. I'm just sitting a layman. So since that is all that this is asking me for, because sometimes you see square bracket is optional, that means it's not really compulsory in a way. All right. So I'll say, okay, that's all. I'll close the bracket for all now. Because for every function, can you see when I close the bracket for all, it brought me back to top end that I can see you have supplied the table. Of course, I'll need to put comma. When I put comma now, this one will now say I should order by what. So I'll just added comma. Can you see it has moved to this one? This one is good. Now, when I put comma, order by what? It is revenue. Meaning that how should I arrange them? Go and arrange them and look at the highest revenue. That is the meaning of order. You're going to go and use lower. So meaning that use revenue, and when you are using revenue, be checking the number, like that's the meaning. This is me breaking it down. So I'll say revenue, right? So this is revenue. Now, when I say revenue, if I put, so because I have, you can see this square bracket is optional. I may not supply, but I actually need to supply so that it can give me the right result. You can see the other one too. It's also optional, right? Okay, so that's the point. But I'm going to close the bracket now. When I close the bracket here, it has, because we started from calculate, okay? So it has brought me back to calculate. I'll say comma. It now say, okay, you said the first set of filter should be all of this. Everything that you're seeing from top to this place is the first filter. And that's okay. When you are also coming up, consider all the values. So I'll say values. So that value now say, okay, mention the column name of the table name. So this is product, which is this one. This may look long. This is actually not long when you are writing that, but for the sake of all of us, I hope I've explained this. In case I have not explained very well, calculate will say express yourself and filter. Top 10, we ask it for what should I bring back? How many things should I be? So I'm saying top 10. All we say, okay, mention the table so that I can go and check row by row. And of course, how do you want to order by? That means that when I'm checking, whatever I'm bringing back, how should I sort? I don't want to say it. How should I arrange it? That's a use revenue to do the arrangement. And of course, I need you to return all the, like use the values. So if I say enter right now, like I just did enter. So let us, we did this manually. So let me do another visual. Let me clear this first. I don't even know where it is, but I'll check. What did we call it? I think we call, okay, top 10 product. So let me visualize what do we want to visualize. Product name, yes, product name. Let me bring this here, side by side. What you are still seeing is all the product. This is not top 10 yet, right? But we need top 10. So if you take a look at this, this is top 10. We are not scrolling, but this still has a scroller. I will now say, okay, this guy, I don't need all the products. I need top. I'm using search to make it easy. This one. Also show as a table. Everyone take a look at this. A lot of people have reached out that this top pen is giving them a headache. And I've just shown how to do top pen. This is manual. Normal, I won't do it this way. Unless I don't do it this way. This is one of the right way of doing the top pen. Remember, this is filtered. They have instructed this guy to go into revenue and only filter top pen for all the rows on a table or a column called product name. I'm using revenue and of course checking the values. This is top pen. This, in case you need this, let me copy Control A, Control C, and drop it in our chat. 10 people reach out that stopping has always been a headache for them. Control V. Thank you. So there's it. There is another way, but of course, this is a nice way. There is another way. I think we have spent, sorry, everyone. We have spent too much time, right? So that I can just go to Copilot. Okay, Tosin, your hand is up. Please go ahead. Just to be sure.
Yes. Okay. So calculating top end this way by writing the DAX, like is it compulsory you add the values filter?
Is it compulsory? I wouldn't say it is compulsory. Like there are many ways you can actually write top 10, but if you don't put the value, what will happen? Okay, maybe we should check. So I've copied this, right? So let me say new measure and say this is top, Control V, and say this is top 10, right? So that we don't confuse. And I remove the value. I'm doing it this way so you say if you don't add the value. So if I remove comma, you need to leave your mic on just to be sure. So Tosin, please leave your mic on. So now that I said calculate
Okay.
top end, all. So what will I do if I don't put, I'm just trying to say, so if I close the bracket here, are you saying I should close the bracket here without putting the value, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let me say enter, right? Good. So let me visualize this here and say products, because one of the things that I like is when people, so it shows Tosin is following. So, and that one I call it top, this one. So Tosin, let's take a look. Let me put it on a table. Change the visual to table. So Tosin, let us take a look together. Look at the total. The total for top end, that means it has sum all of them and it's 3,000 something. But look at it, it's returning the total for all the products. Tosin, do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So it's now makes more sense, right? Or less sense in a way.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. But this is not the only way. I'm just trying to say this is not the only way of doing this. You know, let me show one more way. And I'll go to Copilot, right? I'll go to Copilot. My point is, I hope we have not used too much time. How much, Miriam, Isaac, please, how much time do we have left? Please, just so you know, we can't cover everything in a day. And we started by simplifying this so that it doesn't look too, how much?
By your timing, the class is up because you say till 12:30,
Yeah.
and this is 1:45.
Okay. Should I? Okay, let's say that's all. So let me show Copilot. Do we have 10 more minutes class? Just to be sure. If you have 10 more minutes, this is me asking. If you want us
Yes,
to use
please.
10 more minutes, you can show with the raise
Yes,
of hand.
please,
Let
sir.
me, yeah. So let me take that also from everyone. Okay, Tosin, I can see your hand. So others, please, let's respond just to be sure. So 2 persons, Miriam, Olufumi, just to be sure if you have to stop here. I wish that I've not written all of this that I've written, but let's, my point is we want to use Copilot now. So Isaac, please, on 10 minutes, you should stop me.
Okay, sir.
Okay, Isaac, okay. You want to say something, right? Your hand is up. Should I proceed? I thought you want to say something.
No, you can proceed. Is the hand you said we should raise earlier to
Thank you.
signify
Thank you. So
additional time?
everyone, I need you to now ignore all the measures that we have written so far. Please ignore them. Normally, I would delete them so that it doesn't interfere with, but don't worry, just ignore. I'll be calling it, you know what? Pardon me, let me delete them. Let me delete them, please. Delete this so that it doesn't delete this. This is recorded, so we've seen how to write all of this. Delete Anambra too. Because we've asked Copilot to do all of this for us now. Delete revenue 1. If I put this in a folder, I will have deleted all of them. If I put them in one place, I will have been able to delete all of them at once. But because I have not put them in a single folder. So as I'm deleting, you'll see some errors because we have used them to visualize or reference some of them in another measure. So that we can enjoy Copilot for maybe next 7 minutes or thereabout, I want to remove all the calculations we've done. Delete. So that you can see the wonder of Copilot. So I think that's all. Let me check sales details. I hope there's no measure here. Let me check state. I hope there's no measure. Okay. Collapse. You can see there is no calculation. There is no measure anywhere here. So now everyone. So I want to use Copilot. I'll come to quick measure. When I click on quick measure, you would see calculate. Some other time I'll show how to enable it. So because of time. So I'll go to suggestions with Copilot. So when I click this guy, it's saying I should sign in. It's because I've opened this a long time. Let me step out. Let me come back. Okay. So I may need to permit me to save. Okay, not to save. I'm still with us here. So I'll close this and not save. Don't save, and I'll open it again. This is it. Okay. Just in a moment. So everyone, you can use the chat while this is coming up. If there are things you have learned today, it would be nice you drop it in the chat, please. For everyone that is still, for everyone that is still on the call with us, some of the things you have learned today, kindly help us drop it on the chat. Thank you for doing that. So this is me opening this again so that Copilot will allow me to, so let's say quick measure and Copilot, very good. Now take a look at it. I hope you can still see my screen. It said use natural language to describe the measure you need, like total sales for Canada this year. Can you see? Can you imagine? Natural language. So watch. I'm just going to say, I can type what is our total sales, but I don't want to go through because of time writing. So I could say total, there's no total sales, though, but just for you to know. Total sales, that's all for now. In case you don't know, you don't understand what I'm about to do, please pardon me. Let me show you. There is no calculation on this table again, right? There's no calculation. We've removed all the measures we've created, but I want it to do calculations by just asking questions. So I'll say total sales. If I go with this and say generate, so Copilot will start doing something. It's writing measure. Can you see? Hope you remember that when we did our total the other time, we get 56. So Copilot has written DAX. Remember, it said measure equals the sum of sales. This is correct. I'll go with it. All I need to do is to say add, and I'm just going to change the name. I'll write another one shortly. In case you don't have a column called total sales, how can we do that? So let me call this total sales, right? I could call it another name that I want, please. Total sales. So commit it. I've committed this. Cancel. Now, what if that total sales is not? That means what if we don't have a column? What if we don't have a column called that's total sales? What if we don't have a column? So watch. That means we need, in case you are still following, this is what I'm talking about. Let's say we do not have this column called sales. So we need unit price times order QTY to get total sales. Watch. I'll just go to Copilot and say, Copilot said yes. I need you to do something. Go through, okay, before I write this, so that you understand what I'm trying to do. There is a table called sales details. This table is the one that has unit price and other key to in it. So I will tell Copilot to go through this table and multiply these together. That's what I want to type. I'll say go through sales details table and multiply unit price. Is already suggesting because I enable suggestion. Unit price by order. Can you see the suggestion? Order Q2. Please, are we following? See, this is lovely. You won't understand. So if I say, let me see what it's going to bring, I expect 56 million. If not, I will look at how I type so that I can adjust it. Correct. Let's confirm. It said I have total unit price multiplied by order QTY per sales. Now, what you are seeing right now is, do we understand? In case you don't understand, let me click on that so that you see. Now, Copilot said that he has used some MEX. Remember when we were doing our own calculation too, I used some MEX. So some MEX say that measure the table and give me unit, the column multiplied by this. This is Copilot. All of those that I have done, Copilot is bringing it. So let me commit it and say this is the total sales too. Total sales. You know, I've done one before using column. Total sales. One. Okay, total sales one is fine. So commit this. So I just write one or two more, then we'll stop. Now, I can visualize, but because of time, I'll still visualize though. So let's say, what is Olajide's the total sales? So this is, or sales last year. Yes. So instead of writing what is our sales last year, I've deleted everything, but let's say sales last year. Let's see if it's going to help us. Look at it. Let's check. Take a look. Same period last year. This is no longer in my, I've deleted this measure in case you're wondering. Anyways, show more. If I had this, I'll visualize shortly. Can you see? Sales last year, let me call it SLY. Calculate the sum of, so it's not using this time around. What he did was to do that column, the sum of that, but just know that he got it. All right. Let's say Olajide sales, right? In 2012. I want to use measure. I want to use Copilot to even do that. Olajide sales or Olajide Idowu is the staff. I can write it Olajide Idowu sales in year 2012. What did he realize? So if I take this and say generate. I wish Olajide did not make sales in 2012. We'll go and check. But in order for you to understand what it has returned, take a look. I will confirm. It said, I'll calculate total sales where year equal to 12 and also check. Okay, no, year cannot be equal to Olajide. It is staff name. That's where he made the mistake. Now, can you see? That's why you need to understand the writing DAX first before you now begin to. I can adjust this. I can adjust this. What this means is that also check staff name. Watch. That is the staff name, right? Staff. Just a moment. What is the what was that staff name, which is coming from? Just a moment. Or what do we call that? Anyways, let me show you what this. Let me cancel this first. What you are seeing right now is you're supposed to check where, not my date, right? You're supposed to say where staff name equal to Olajide, not my date. Do we understand, please? Just to be sure. Do you understand this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, 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 we understand it.
So that is the point. All I need is to now adjust it to say, okay, I don't just say this one. Do you have sales details, which is sales? I think it is coming from, no, regional. Sorry, regional. I think zona director, zona. Okay, let me remove this. There is a table that is supposed to be, but my point, I can write it for you so that you understand. What this is asking for is, or so that you understand better. There is a table that has the staff name. Take a look. I'm going to change the narrative shortly, but I need you to take a look at this table. So this table has the name of the staff. So meaning that when staff name, where is the staff name equal to, not my date equal to Olajide. Date cannot be equal to Olajide. So that is the clue that Copilot did not. So hence, reason why you need to adjust it. So if I'm going to write it, I'll say new measure because I expect this to return. Just pardon me. I will have copy and edit the, you know what? Let me see if I can copy this. Control. Okay, let me just say add, then I'll adjust it. Add, then I'll adjust it. Good. Now, let me adjust it my way. Olajide's 2012 sales, right? 2012 Olajide. I have exhausted my time, just pardon. I can adjust what he's doing, please. All right, and I can just make it easier for you. So let me say no, remove this one. So I could also say no, don't use total sales. I could also use total sales, please. Where year equals 2012, comma, and staff name equals Olajide. I'll remove the other ones down there. Olajide, Ito. Then I'll close the bracket. I'll remove those ones. Remove. So what they are seeing now is that it's going to calculate and check total sales where year equals 2012 and this and staff name. I hope we understand, right? I'm sure we do. Okay, so thank you everyone for being with us thus far. Any question, any things that we have learned? Any question? Go ahead, please.
Yes, I have a question. Can we do top 10 too with Copilot?
Yes, now, so you need to know how to write. If you are doing top 10, you need to know how to write your word, right? You need to know how to write it. Because if you're saying top 10, then you want to say help me look for top 10 products by revenue. You get the point.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you everyone. I look at it, we have exceeded time like so thank you so much everyone. Thank you for being here. Let me stop recording because of time. So Miriam, others, I hope this makes sense to us.